Hi, hello, welcome to the Galactic Consulship Report brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priscilla. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for Scorpio rising and North Node. If you do not know your rising sign, start with your North Node. Everything else after that gets less accurate depending on the month and the chart, etc. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you for your continued support. Vertex of Abundance is the galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. Today we will be imposing the guidance from This Met Her Tarot by Isabella Rotman. She's over at Liminal 11 Publishing. We're going to lay 4 cards. That'll be the core energy. And then we'll lay more, but those extra cards will clarify and modify the energy. I'm already in the channel. I'm getting some messages here. So why don't we get in here, fit in here, and see what we got going on. We have so far the 4 of Swords, 7 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups. Again, 4 of Swords, 7 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups. 4 of Swords, 7 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups. As always, you can increase the playback, the speed, if the video is too long or too slow. There's usually a summary in the show notes or the about section or the description box, depending on where you're coming. It's always between the hams and hands. The thing about always is that it's almost always a summary there, but if there is a summary, it'll be between the hams and hands. We have the 4 of Swords, which usually means like convalescence. It could be because we're concussed or we're recuperating. We may need an energetic seal, quarantine away from the world. There also could be something coming to stasis, some type of pause. There could be like resuscitation needing. We could be healing from some kind of trauma, proverbial, like a heart chakra, or the actual literal, like an actual trauma. 7 of Wands is about being on a high ground in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. It typically is an alert that our spot is slipping. We have a double Mars here. So this 8 of Pentacles is about, it's usually that grind, that hustle, that flow, that thug thistle, that juice, that base, something of that nature, right? So there's some kind of energy, okay? Now, this is in the position of another person. We don't have enough here to say that there's another being. And for Scorpio rising, we're going to have the sun moving through the 8th house, which talks about growth, expansion, renewal, vitality, enumeration, according to kind of like deep and visceral experiences. Can be traumatic experiences. Typically, they force us to get to the depths of ourselves, to confront what's alive in us. It could be our shadow, it could be our secrets. Now, there may or may not be other people. Typically, if it's other people, it's our shared needs, not shared emotional needs, 7th house, but our shared needs, 8th house. Typically, we call those shared resources. It's people on the periphery of our life, like secondary and tertiary beneficiaries. Okay, and then again, it's basically where we might be in the dark if we're unhealed, unawakened. We're not always unhealed, unawakened. That shifts in our 30s according to astrological maturation. On the caveat, because we all mature and grow up at different times. I know 5 and 10-year-olds that are more mature than 50 and 70-year-olds. Okay, I know it's one of those things. Although I'm of the generation after me was the crystal children. Okay, so we're on this journey towards needing to defend something or needing to take a stand. We may need to find high ground, be on high ground, because there was something going on where we were in our energy, entity, ideology. We might have been working towards something, and then there was a split in some kind of way. I'm hearing something about could you believe it, put a man on the moon, it's a song that's telling me like innovation is here. We could do the things we thought we couldn't do, or something that we thought was impossible actually is very possible. It's to the left, which means the past of this Five of Cups was what we're losing. So some kind of job, some type of hustle, some type of grind. There can be like an energy body here as well. So the energy might have had to shift, might have had to leave, might have had to go away. I'm trying to cut the deck here. That's why I'm futzing around. Grant me a moment. But yeah, honestly, the way this is reading thus far, and it's way too early to tell, my dear, is as if we lost a job or a project or some type of side hustle. Now, it doesn't mean that we lost it, but we do need to leave behind the place, the space. We were working towards something and we had to go away. Now, it wasn't that everything was lost, but we couldn't continue further. So we wouldn't have gained everything, but we gained a little something. Excuse me, we gained a little something. Hierophant, magician. Ten of Cups, Six of Pentacles. So somebody may have their moon in the second house or in Taurus. So the moon's is a need, but the moon's harmonize or stabilize. So this is like needing security. There was a give and take. There was an inner need calling forward. Because we need to figure out the talent that's going to keep us on top or gain some type of position in this world. We were putting energy into some type of community or industry, and it might have been some type of formalized or structured type of situation. We could have been joining a guild, joining a club, joining a some type of community, and we're concussed or wounded in some way that requires rejuvenation, resuscitation, meaning breathing life back into ourselves in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. Now, the sixes are about receiving the Pentacles would be about receiving favor with the Hierophant. It would talk about a Taurus moon. With the moon card here with the Five of Wands, Eight of Wands, and the Page of Wands. So Eight of Wands, Page of Wands means feeling expanded, feeling expansiveness here. We have a pair of eights. So there was some type of messages or knowledge or learning that we gained from this community, really. Ten of Cups. It could be alma mater. It could be family if it refers to where we came from. So families could be chosen or given at birth. Because the Ten of Cups literally means alma mater, hometown, community. With the pages, it could be our actual family of origin. So we have this Ace of Pentacles, Judgment, Death card, Nine of Swords. We're starting out with this needing to heal, and we're moving towards being on a high ground. The Seven of Wands is because something got revealed about a negative player. Five of Swords with the Magician. That could be lies, but it's called out, it's announced, it's seen with the Judgment card. Now, the Five of Swords in and of itself typically means like we're losing. The fives are losses. Grace, we were falling out of favor. We're losing grace. We have Six of Pentacles receiving favor, and then Five of Swords losing grace. Five of Cups as well will be losing some type of anointing. And that's what this Nine of Swords is. It's coming to realize that we're not going to make it into something as such. But what we don't see yet is that there's a call to something different. And so it wasn't a no, it was a not now. And the thing that we want when we do go back for it, if we go back for it, we won't want it as much because something better is here for us. And oftentimes when we're barreling down the road, trying to hustle, trying to grind, we don't always hear that. We look at a blockage and we think it's another obstacle to overcome because we're on that grind. This is saying that.
I didn't get that. Could you try?
This is saying that over the next 2 weeks or so, we'll be coming to consciousness about the calling on our life or some kind of awakening or something. It might be something that we're going to do for the rest of our life. And then since 2 weeks ago, something kind of ended. We might have taken too much time. We might have missed a window. We might have had a disruption or a delay that's causing wide ranging decay. It's going to bring in some kind of transformation here that's almost like irrevocable, or it's going to put a major dampening on things because our reputation has to change. There might have been some flanking or some infiltration, penetration to our reputation. And another word for reputation, if we're not managing our reputation, it would be our eternal life. Okay. Um, the origin is the same, but it manifests differently. Like I said, we're all under the same energy. Like I say, excuse me, I might not have said it this video. Like I usually say, it's the same energy going to everybody, but it manifests differently according to a couple few different things. Like I was saying, this eighth house for Scorpio risings right now, the sun is moving through Gemini. So the sun is moving through the eighth house. So the things that are not of value, or the things that would normally we look at them, we wouldn't quite dig that deep. Okay, I'm just going to say this, and it's actually a great thing once you understand it. The eighth house is kind of like diamond in the rough energy. It can be called the ghetto, the swamp. It's the place that's kind of dark, and you need to have a little bit of a style. Like, let's call it street smarts, or let's call it the ability to recognize hidden treasure. It's never the opposite of this. It's never surface level. It's not, you can't look at it and discern it easily. And the thing that's going on when the sun is moving through our eighth house is there's going to be illumination, enlightenment, reinvigoration, healing, vitality, enumeration. So we're going to have reasons, we're going to have the rhyme, we're going to have a strategy, a tactic, we're going to have understanding. We might have things revealed to us that normally weren't there because the sun, oh, no, excuse me. I keep mistaking this for the sun. Ace of Pentacles. But the sun is moving through our eighth house. So things that were blocked, if there was a player, that's going to be revealed. There may be an open enemy that we weren't aware of until just now, or there may be an open enemy that we weren't quite certain of, but there's going to be an action, a move that illuminates them, reveals them. We have a pair of fives here, so there was some depletion, stripping. We have a double eight as well, so that's witchcraft and spell work. With the moon, it's confirmed. So no wonder why we needed to get to higher ground. 9 of Wands, so I have a pair of nines, a triple nine, 9 of Cups. Because we were chosen, things were favorable and easy for us, and that might have been a challenge for somebody here. Or it might have reached some type of blockage because of standards and boundaries. The universe might have intervened, excuse me. The universe might have intervened. 5 of Swords is an intervention. 2 of Pentacles is an intercession. The universe, judgment card, world card, sun card, full card, those are all when the sovereigns of the universe get involved. We also have the death card here. The will, the justice, the hangman, or the devil, the death card, those are all what we call lords of karma. So we have a sovereign of the universe and a lord of karma, and it's the two sovereigns and lords that are connected. Each one has a pairing. So these two are connected. It's basically Lord Shiva or Lord Yama. It's saying like we have a bigger, brighter, better calling in our life. We weren't getting in it because we were worried about the physical. We don't have 8 of Cups on that spiritual grind, spiritual and paid. We have that 8 of Pentacles, something here of this world, material or whatever, or what have you. 10 of Swords, there was some kind of cancellation that came out. 5 of Swords is a revocation, a withdrawal. Okay, so we have 3 9s, 3 5s. That's chaos turning into anarchy. Triple 5. There was an expansion of destabilizations, declines, degradation, where we were forced to make changes or something was gonna happen. Page of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles. That's feeling like we're going through a hardship. Page of Wands, Seven of Wands. That's feeling anxious, feeling guarded. Page of Wands, Eight of Wands. We were trying to expand. We were feeling expansive, and then something happened. We needed to protect some type of spot. The path that we were on needed to be stripped a little bit. Maybe not stripped entirely, but there did need to be some kind of change. Again, confirmed by the Death card with the Five of Cups. That's a purge. And it was because of our... What's hidden from us right now is that we have a spiritual rank, and it's actually pretty high. It's not a traditional priestess of the marketplace. It's not something we do out in the world. It's actually something we do behind closed doors. It's like a keeper or a guardian of some kind. Frankly, honestly, we may be a wrath bearer, and the word for that it could be one of four things. You can have the mouth of God, the hand of God, the eye of God, or some other like the throne, which means we're a sovereign adjudicator. The buck kind of stops with us in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. And I would just be talking into the abyssal void here without having clarity. But it's an indication that something needs to be checked, and this is not the way to check it. So, of course, when we have a sacred calling on our life and we've been given a God duty obligation, that little Eight of Pentacles is never ever. The Eight of Pentacles will come when we need to learn something, but the teaching, the education, the tutelage, the Three of Pentacles or the Hermit is not here. So this all starts with the crown of there's going to be some forced change. The Three Fives present starts with the Five of Pentacles. Hardship, stinking thinking, forced change. That's what the Five of Pentacles means. Ultimately, if we don't heed, if we don't yield to that lesson, it'll look like being left out in the cold, whether it was by the divine or another person, abandoned again by the divine or another person. It could be stripped or siphoned, but there's nothing corresponding to that here. Because basically we were on a path, we were being prepared to receive some kind of material blessing. If this is what I think it is, it's we have an actual role in this life that will give us abundance, and it comes along with tools of divination. But we weren't on that, because below this, if the Five of Pentacles is clarified by the Nine of Cups, do you know what that means? It means that nothing other than the path we're supposed to be on is going to pay off. It's never going to get from an ace to a 10 unless we're on that exact path. We do have an Ace of Cups here, and we do have a Nine of Cups here, and a Ten of Cups. But we need to guard something. There's something here that needs to be protected. We need to be standing on the high ground, and it has to deal with a tactic, a tool, a gift, a skill, a craft. And if we begin to go down the path, it will eventually call out to us. There is a calling on our life, period, point blank. Let's check some of these repeating cards. We call those pairings. Vertex of Abundance is the galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil of anything more than a deeply with you. Go ahead and smash that like button. We'll be using the minor arcana from Cosmic Coven Tarot to deliberate the findings for any of these pairings. It'll be a double this, a triple this. So we have a triple five. Let's start there. What is this triple five talking about? Because what it normally means is anarchy. The way things were intended is not going that way, and there was an intention for us. Ten of Cups. This is saying that the overall energy is the Seven of Swords. That could be sideways, sneaky, seditious, trifling, treacherous, treasonous, a lack of clarity, insight, strategy, tactic. Something's moving around in secret, hidden agendas, ulterior motives with the Moon card present. Knight of Swords, shared energy with the Seven of Swords. Overall energy is saying that there's a desire either to move sneakily or to gain clarity and truth here. With the Two of Swords either in the upper realm or in the third party, combined with the overall energy of the Seven of Swords, it's saying that there needs to be deliberation. Where there are facts here missing, because if we're dealing with a second party, meaning not a third but a second, so it's not them, it's this other person. There's some vainglorious pridefulness here. But Ten of Cups, which it's telling me that we're not so much dealing with another person. What we're dealing with is higher self, lower self, former self, future self. We have a place in the divine. We have actually a divine ranking, Nine of Cups, Ten of Cups. It's here too, Nine of Cups, Ten of Cups. We have a divine ranking that we're not going down. And things are going to always be a little confused until we barrel down the road. Nine of Swords moves very quickly towards this thing we were brought here to do. And it may have been withheld from us, or it's being manipulated, or we're manipulating it ourselves. So we have a pair of pages. Oh, but wait, there's more. Before that pair of pages, we got to do this pair of tens. Ten of Cups, Ten of Swords. And by the way, the triple five was the Five of Pentacles, Cups, and Swords. So Ten of Swords, Ten of Cups. What does that mean, please? So a pair of tens means a culmination. Cycle is ending. Okay, so this came back. What hasn't manifested yet is that we're in some kind of golden goose situation. We could be producing a lot. But what we need to be doing right now is King of Swords, Seven of Swords. King is one, Seven of Swords. Ooh, okay. In its most benign and benevolent, I know, oxymoron, in its most benign, it's truth, strategy, tactic. So there's a way to move here, and we might not be honest in the public or with ourselves. Yeah, there's definitely something waiting for us. We can't get back in the flow. Six of Pentacles. We received favor to do one thing, and everything else is the favor is being stripped. We have a sacred spot here in the universe. Four of Wands. Eight of Wands. We're actually what's called an official person. We are known by another name when we go back into the spirit, when we transition from this life and go back into the spirit, we assume a mantle that's already well known. There's duties and functions already assigned to this role. And part of that is part of our mission here upon the earth is to use some of those gifts to make the world a bigger, better place. We're going to clarify this page. Two pages here is the Pentacles and the Wands. Okay, so that's a tribute and a target on one hand, but we're not dealing with another person here. So in that case, it would be we're being prepared to receive some material blessing, or we're starting our journey to go towards some type of practical skill. That's what the Page of Pentacles means in this context. And then we have the Page of Wands. Again, it's not the target because there's not another person. This is not. The reading doesn't prove for another person. The things that I need to see in this line here are not there. There's no 3, 5, 7, 9. There's no queen or knight. There's no emperor or empress. So we're not dealing with another person. This is our higher self, lower self, former self, future self. So this Page of Wands here, the pages are being prepared to receive of the wands would be a transmission. Normal because of their bloodline or their family. It can be that they're preparing to go after they're preparing the journey to figure out what their drive, desires, passions, motivations are. Page preparing to go on the journey or to learn what the wands, drive, desires, passions, motivations are. So what are these pages about, please? Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so that's the promise of a material blessing. Four of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles is saying that we need to secure this gift from the divine. Eight of Pentacles, we need to be working towards that. That's what's going on in the higher realm. Because then that'll bring to the forefront the Six of Wands. That's a coveted elite status seat from the divine. And this is the truth that we've been missing. But there's something about it that's been manipulated, probably by us, because it wouldn't be the Seven of Swords in that case. It would be the Ace of Swords if it was a clarity and truth that we really, really needed. This is saying that we know something and we're being sneaky, or there's a lack of clarity or a lack of tact or cunning here. We have a pair of aces, cups, and pentacles. That is a partnership. That's a promise of material abundance and harsh desires. Typically, when those two come together and it's not a romantic thing, it's saying that not only are we married to the divine, but we're twice blessed. Okay, so yeah, there is some material blessings here on our life. We have a spiritual inheritance that's in jeopardy because we're not on the path to receive it. This pair of aces, the overall energy is the Page of Pentacles, and our energy is the Eight of Pentacles. We need to be in flow. We need to have planted some seeds. We need to be taking massive action, King of Wands. And King of Wands, Nine of Wands, meaning we should be wanting some type of spiritual strength, wanting to stake some type of claim, to be honest. It's what that looks like here. Then we have a triple nine, cup, swords, and wands. So when you have a triple nine, it means forced isolation. We had to be removed from whatever path we were on. We got kind of set down by the universe. I hate to say it, but this is the Nine of Wands. King of Wands, Nine of Wands came back. That's the overall and the shared energy. What our higher self and lower self both know is that there needs to be some type of action. We're probably more entrepreneurial than we care to admit. Because our future self is saying no to our current self. We put a lot of time, energy, effort, and attention into a path that got rerouted. We have a pair of eights here as well. Okay, so we lulled ourselves to sleep. We did a spell work on ourselves. We got ourselves psyched out to do the wrong thing or to go the wrong way. Nine of Swords, that's a backfire. Because the Ten of Wands, we were buckling under the weight of our own karmic causes here with the Ten of Pentacles. This was a karmic cycle, and that's why we need to, yeah. We did get stripped because we went the wrong way. We went towards hardship instead of towards what we were already promised, and something in us willfully ignored it. I'm looking at this double five again. I know it's a triple five, but I want to talk just to the pair of fives. Now we have a pair of nines here. Okay, so here's what I was saying. The difference between the Seven of Swords and the Ace of Swords. This is just truth, clarity. This is like something sneaky going on, but it's typically can mean cunning, strategy, tactic. It doesn't always mean sideways, sneaky, seditious, trifling, treacherous, treasonous. It's not always the negative. It could mean that we would choose differently if we had one more piece of information, or if we had thought something out more, we would have gone a different direction. It's very clear that our path was stripped because we weren't in alignment on the right path. It's very clear that we got reordered because something wasn't going the right way, Scorpio. And it's us. We were going down the wrong path, one that was separate than what our life had told us already. We got set down and stripped. Spirit put us intentionally through a hardship. There were some conditions placed in our life, and they had to handle up on us. And I know we got a little fried, a lot of free will, and we get to do what we want. But here's the thing: the universe is like, you're not a nobody spiritually. You need to kind of go down this road. Now, there's a little bit of corresponding energy. We're going to check that just really quickly, deliberate those findings from Vida Sibila by Los Garabello. I want to know what this Four of Swords with the Judgment card means. That's a celestial court. Literally, the high court of heaven had to intervene. So there were things going on behind the scenes, and we're an official person. That's what sacerdote means. It means a person that wears uniforms and that is high ranking and ruling here. Now, the universe did whatever they did to us as a blessing. And there should have been alarm bells going off on us, in us, or intuition or something like that. I want to know what this Five of Cups with the Death card is, because something had to be purged as well. Because it started out as a whisper, then it came to be a screaming loud. Yeah, something was at the heart of the matter, and it was going to be bigger than what we could have understood, and it needed to be protected because it was precious. And we were somewhere with our eyes closed when all the time Spirit was reaching out, trying to help us, and it was lulling us, whispering it to us, singing to us, wooing us. Yeah, we had this pie in the sky kind of, and I don't want to diminish or override or bypass or dismiss or invalidate, but this pie in the sky is like we were dreaming up of something that was great imagination when actually the thing that we wanted wasn't as good as the thing we were blessed with, but we couldn't do any imagining with this thing that we were blessed with. It was almost like it didn't bring joy. It didn't, you know what I mean? It's like you're praying to the Lord for a Honda and they give you a Lamborghini. Substitute any car. It's not about the Honda or the Lamb. It's more like we were praying for like a little 1-2 piece and they gave us a 10-12 piece and our mind just short circuited. Really what it wasn't our mind, it was our intuition, our imagination. It short circuited. So it's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to serve. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. I want to just pull from one more deck because this pair of aces is a union, but it's a union with the divine. Yeah, I'm hearing that. Is it Minnie Riperton? Loving you. I'm really off key and it's late at night. It's easy cause you're beautiful. Shouldn't do. Yeah, there's so something with the sacral chakra, which is our place in this world. Oh, that might have been why we kind of ignored our calling, was because we were worried about our security. Okay. Drinking the Kool-Aid, overall situation. Shared energy here is wordless. Things are being spoken, things are being heard. It was kind the way Spirit told us this because there was other things they wanted to say, and the Spirit was not going to be ignored. And we were never going to be able to fathom the greatness of what we were being offered either. It's something to know, something to think about. So we might have been deceiving ourselves, and yeah, we were allowed to go down the path that we were because the lesson was going to be learned, but we learned this lesson. And it wasn't as it seemed, but now time is ticking. It's like we have to kind of run after and chase the divine a little bit because they were so giving to us. And when they finally stood back just a little bit, we had a collapse. Yeah, so this was a reading about, this was a message about feeling like we're going through a hardship because something had to get our attention, period, point blank. We were going to need to stand up and go in a certain direction. And it was never going to be easy till then, but now we're receiving that anointing. Now we're returning back to some kind of safe space and sanctuary. We're actually going through healing. And it's just going to take a moment. Forced change leads to healing, or healing after forced change. Okay? So it's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure. Just a quick prayer for all the still lost out there to illusion, delusion, confusion, lost somewhere in the matrix, trapped somewhere in the seas of time, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the resplendent grace of the divine, unconditional love, and universal oneness. We love you. We're sorry. Please forgive us. Thank you. We pray that your steps are ordered, your path illuminated, and that you find salvation and redemption in this lifetime. May you be healthy, may you be well, may you be at peace. May you receive everything you ever wanted, starting with what you deserve, until we meet again, until we read again. Namaste, Dhanava, and Ashe, Sayonara, Dasvidanya, Avida Zane. Take good care, smash that like button. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.